Hi, I'm Marty Demko. Many people feel that being a parent is the best part of their life. They well may enjoy nurturing their kids' growth and the many good moments, for example, watching their child's developmental steps like rolling over, babbling, first words, first day of school, behaving as you taught him or her to, falling in love for the first time. They value the lifetime of close bond, family get-togethers, having grandkids, and the prospect that their kids will care for them in old age. But other people end up concluding that having a child wasn't the best use of all the time and money. Having a child is an 18-plus year major commitment. Your time is no longer your own. And the average middle-income parent spends almost $300,000 raising just one child through age 17. And that doesn't count college, let alone graduate school, or if the child returns to live with you as an adult. And parenting is filled with the need for patience. A few common examples: when baby won't stop crying, getting your stubborn toddler into the car seat, dealing with homework, or a teen who abuses substances. There are additional challenges if your child has a physical or mental limitation, for example, autism. The iconic curmudgeon philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer asks, quote, "If children were brought into the world by an act of pure reason alone, would the human race continue to exist?" For some people, though, the downsides of parenthood are beside the point. They want at least one child, period. But if you would like to help ensure that you're making the decision rationally, your answers to the following questions should help. And if you're considering having a child with a known partner, each of you might answer the questions separately and afterwards compare your answers. Let's start with your wants. Would you feel good about bringing a child into the world that he or she will inherit? Some people are optimistic about society's present and future, while others are far less so. How involved a parent would you want to be? Some parents want to give it all to their kids, even if it means being an overindulgent helicopter parent. Other parents elect to do a just acceptable job, allowing the child much independence and addressing only serious problems. Does your position on that affect your decision to have a kid or more? How about your job and career? Do you plan to stay in it? Work hard enough at it to achieve your career goals despite parenting's demands? Do you want to and are able to hire childcare help? Or, at least for parenthood's first years, do you want to scale back your career or even stop working? In toto, do these questions about your job and parenting, do they make you want to have a child more or less? How many children, if any, do you think you'd be wise to have? And the broad question, compared with what you'd otherwise be spending time and money on, does having one or more kids seem wise for you? I need to mention two poor reasons to have a child. Some people have a child at least in part because of pressure from parents or peers. They might say, "I'd love to be a grandmother." Or you see your age peers having kids and you feel you should join the crowd. Both of those reasons seem inadequate. Other people have a child mainly because they want someone who will love them. That too is a poor reason. That often creates overly high expectations, which if not met, leads to disappointment and enmity. Now let's turn to your capabilities as a parent. How likely are you to be a good role model for your child? If you're a reasonably responsible, kind person, great. But if you or your prospective co-parent are a layabout with a temper and a substance abuse problem, you'll want to think twice before having a child. Do you think you'll be able to consistently enough strike the balance between permissiveness and strictness? Some parents have trouble setting limits for their kids, while others are punitive. Of course, this is a special challenge if your child is unusually willful, a risk taker, or otherwise uses poor judgment. The good news is that while it's far from a certainty, if you and your partner are reasonably responsible people, chances are, for both genetic and environmental reasons, your child will be too. Of course, kids aren't miniature adults. Even kids with potential to be responsible adults need guidance and usually relatively firm boundary setting, for example, regarding bedtime, friends, and compliance with your request to, for instance, come to the table, it's dinner time. Will you be patient enough? Consider the examples that I mentioned up front. You needn't be perfect, but will you be reasonably patient rather than too often frustrated and overreact by yelling or punishing? which usually yields worse problems in the future? Do you have enough money? Of course, there's no need to be lavish, but do you anticipate having sufficient money for at least the basics? For furniture, diapers, food, clothes, healthcare, childcare, and so on? And then there are other choices you have. If you decide you want a child, there's the question of when. Think about your career and personal demands and goals. Think about your maturity to be a parent. Do you have a suitable partner now? Think about your age. Risk of an unhealthy baby increases during the 30s and beyond. What would the wise one within you say would be the right time for you to have a baby? Do you want to be a single parent, coupled, or communal? If you want to be a single parent, do you want to use an anonymous donor from a sperm or egg bank? Or would you want to ask someone you know to donate? Do you want to biologically have your own baby? Use a surrogate? Adopt? If the latter, do you want to use a U.S. Social Service agency? Or look into an inter-country adoption? An organization called Hold International, it's a non-profit, has facilitated international adoptions for 60 years. It claims a 95% family satisfaction rate, and its reviews on external websites are good. Few decisions are as life-changing as whether to have a child. I hope these questions will help you decide more wisely. A previous installment in this series is Should You Be in a Relationship? You'll find it on my YouTube channel as well as on Psychology Today. And I'm planning to do ones on Should You Buy a Home and Should You Get a Doctorate? In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.